Alright guys, so today I've got a hopefully quick one for you. So what we're looking at here is my standard privacy policy, which is based on a GDPR template, and it's populated automatically with dynamic data from a jet engine option page. I'm going to cover that in probably the next video, but for today what we're going to look at is how do we turn these boring old bullet lists into colored icons within the bricks builder. And it's actually not that hard. So what I'm going to look at here is show you, so back to the editor. So what we have here is a single rich text container, and all my content is in that container. So this is a straight out HTML, got a bunch of jet engine placeholders in there, or tokens, or whatever you like to call them. And some standard sort of stuff here. So I've got a privacy policy start date, which is my option page, got a date modified, which is a standard token in bricks, and basically just populating these throughout the templates. All I have to do is change an options page, and that changes everywhere. Right, so the point being here is this is a standard HTML with ULs and LIs in there. And what I want to do is look at how can we actually improve the look of these. So let's put first step is to find an icon. Now, the other point I'm going to make here is I'm going to use theme icons. The reason I use theme icons is I've already got a back to top button down the bottom here, which uses a theme icon. So instead of having to make sure another library like Font Awesome or whatever is loaded, I know because I've got this button here that the theme icons CSS library is going to be loaded, so I don't need to worry about it. So generally for anything with the UI, if there's a theme icon for it, I use that, so I don't have to worry about whether the library is loaded or not. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get an icon. And we're going to stick that on the editor anywhere. Work. It did. Put it at the end here. Sorry. Struggle with drag and drop in bricks sometimes. Not just bricks, I should say, but pretty much any page editor, any web-based editor. All right, so there's my icon. And all I want to do is get some details from this. I'm going to select a arrow. I'm going to use not my arrow, I'm going to use angle. I just want to use an angle to the right. Very simple, typical sort of an icon. Okay, so there's my angle to the right icon. Now what I want to do is get some properties from it. So I'm going to bring up my Chrome DevTools and browse to it. And so on the icon, I want to see what font properties I've got. So that's these here. So I'm going to copy those, stick those into a notepad document. Okay, so just going to copy those and stick them straight into a notepad document. And we're not going to target the pseudo element from before, but we need to know what the icon value is. So we've got a content here. I'm going to copy that as well. Put that generally put that at the top. So there is my CSS that I need to turn this into a theme icons arrow. Copy that. Go back to here. I can delete that now because I don't need it. And on my rich text editor, I'm going to create a new bricks class. Now I always prefix my bricks utility classes or BEM classes with a B for bricks. External I use for my framework, I use F, so I can tell, did I create this in bricks or is it referring to an external framework? I was just reading an article elsewhere, some people use X for external. Whatever is your standards, create it and stick to it. So I'm going to use bricks. I'm going to call this a bullet. Actually, we'll make it simpler. Li arrow, Li arrow icon. How's that? So bricks Li arrow icon is going to be my class. I was going to use a pseudo element for the marker, but it didn't actually work properly. So what we ended up doing was going into our style, go to root, and we want to target the LI and then the marker. So it's two dots, or colon. We want to paste our rules in here that we just put into the Notepad document. Just going to tidy that up a little bit. Okay, so there we go. We've already got our icon there. Now I want that to be the accent color. Now I know this button's the accent color here, so I'm going to just press 12. Use my selector, go to that. Okay, it's using that for my accent color. I was actually mapping colors to readable names. Then I realized, look, it's as simple as just using Chrome DevTools, and you can change that anyway. So I'm just going to change the color on that. Okay, so now we've got a green or an accent with the theme icons icon. Now we need to probably put a little bit more spacing on these and maybe move that across a little bit now that we've got the arrow there. I'm going to just target root, and then LI, and in here I'm just going to put padding left of say 0.5 EM, 0.5 EM, and I'm going to put a margin bottom of the same, just to push it down a little bit. You can set that to whatever you like, whether that works for you or not. So you can see now we've got a theme icons arrow, which is our theme, our bricks themes accent color, with a little bit of padding to push it away, and then some margin to separate those. And that's as simple as that. Now, if I decide now I want to change the icon, actually, let me just take that out. I just realized I make this mistake a lot. I've put the CSS on here, but my class is not selected, so I'm not applying this class. I'm going to cut that away from there. And I've got to learn that the first thing I should be checking is that my class is highlighted before putting the CSS or changing any of the properties. Otherwise, it'll only apply to the element, not to the class. All right, so now I've got this. All I have to do, if I want a rich text box, put rich text here, or anything that's got a UL in it, I just add my B-li arrow icon, and there we go. If I want to change the font on it, let's just find another one. So I'm just going to go for a icon. There's probably a list of these somewhere as well, so you can probably, instead of doing this, I know Font Awesomes, for example, they've got a great cheat sheet where you can actually find these. But in this case, I'm just going to do it here. Let's say we want to change that to a, maybe an I. Why you'd use it, I don't know. You can change that to an I, F12, find the I, before. So here's my content for that. The icon. Go back to my rich text. I'm still highlighted on this class, so I can go to my style and in here change the icon to an I. Now I've got an I over here. So whatever you want it to be, you can use this theme icon. Just change from once you've got it set up, you can just change the so that there. So actually, let's look at this. I'm going to go back and use our BEM naming standards, and I'm going to just put that into a Notepad document again. So I've got that last content that I want, and what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to go up here and click that, copy it, Put in there, and I'm just going to do a dash dash EYE for I. Okay, so now we've got a arrow icon, and we want it to be an I. We just go to our root, CSS, LI marker. We change our content to be okay. So now we've got a situation where I'm just going to take those off. All right, so now just by adding that modifier, that BEM modifier, we've got a rich text container. We want to add the B LI icon. By default, we've got our arrow icon. Okay, we want it to be an I, B-LI icon I, and now we've got all the properties from the arrow icon, which give us our spacing, etc., and font definition, everything. And on the icon I, all we've done is told it to change the content property of that. So you can create a range of these. You might have a bullet list where you might have ticks, eyes, arrows. All you need is modifiers to change that. So all done within the Bricks builder, so you don't need anything external for this, which is what I really, really like about this system with Bricks. Anyway, that's it. So I hope that's useful for you. If you like this kind of thing, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and let people know. Thank you.